So, Paddy, bespoke colour has been a thing in the industry for a long time. Most companies just send it out. Pros and cons to everything. But what are you doing with colour spray to help people that are thinking of starting to spray in-house?
Well, yeah, I mean, colour is obviously one of the sort of top choices for something to be a a way to add value to a product. Whether it be through foils, composite door colours, bespoke composite door colours and things like that. Obviously, colour is a huge part of what we all do. You are right, a lot of people will choose to send that out. There are trade sprayers out there who'll take in other manufactured goods, those in, apply the colour coats, and then send them back out again, back to the manufacturers. And we feel that is we want to encourage more people to be offering bespoke colours to their products. I believe, though, that there is a bit of hesitancy in people sending goods out of the factory. It's a process that they're not in control of. It's additional lead time. It's, transporting items when we really want to be keeping it in the factory and not be sending around, chasing goods around different people's factories and things like that. So we've taken a look at the market to say, well, why, if you were a trade fabricator, if you were a door fabricator, window fabricator, whatever it may be, looking for that next opportunity to add value to a product, why is this not something that can be adopted in-house, to bring that control back in-house, to reduce costs, and to just, like I said, be in control of be in control of your own destiny with it. Enjoy the margin that you can take from adding value without, relying on a third party from taking their cut. And again, we just want to encourage people to have that confidence in applying paint, to understand the product, understand the performance, understand the needs to do that. So that's what we've been working on, to encourage people to bring colour in-house.
So from an investment point of view, I think a lot of companies, that it may not even be the money. It's like you say, it's just having someone to guide them through the process so they know they're doing everything right, because it's not a straightforward process, no. But it is once you get into it and you know what you're doing. But
so, I mean, the first stage is equipment. I mean, when we've spoken to, large fabricators out there who don't currently apply colour in-house, let's just have a conversation, sort of, I can wave a magic wand, but what are the issues that I need to fix? And number one that is is equipment. I don't know what I need to be able to apply paint. I've got a rough idea. I've seen a spray gun before. I've seen what a booth kind of looks like, but how do I ensure that the setup that inevitably I'm going to invest in is built specifically for my business? And that's where we stand in. We've got a big track record of bespoke installations in, big factories, small factories, making something work to the needs of the customer. And what we've got is a range of partnerships with companies like SATA, like Schubert's Technical Services, to be able to provide the best of the best in terms of finishing equipment. And basically just understanding the needs of the customer, not just the needs of the customer in the now, but, where are we going to be in 6 months once you offer this, bespoke colour options for windows and doors and things like that. This will only grow your business. The availability of wider colour ranges it can only be a plus. You need to be thinking, well, what's the next stage? I may be doing, 30 painted doors a week now. Can I cope when I get to 60? Because at the end of the day, we all want to be aiming for growth. And any new system that you introduce, obviously, you want to be making a return on. So it's about understanding, the needs of your business, the needs of your business in the future, and how we can build a bespoke package around that and give you an idea of, investment costs and that capital investment.
On the note of investment and size, is there sort of particular, some companies I can imagine they go, oh, we're not big enough to spray, or we haven't got enough space to put a spray booth in, or ovens and things like that. So what kind of company sizes do you deal with?
We deal with smaller window fabricators, smaller door manufacturers, or smaller door fabricators, whether it be from a slab, whether it be from prep slab from one of the larger distributors. It really can vary depending on the your customer set. You may find that you are doing a lot of your proportion of foil colours may be massive, and that you have an opportunity to be offering a more bespoke service, down to providing real sort of bespoke solutions for composite doors and entrance doors. Obviously, we've spoken a lot in the past about how the colour of your front door is the sort of, this is who I am, this is my personality, this is my home. And I think people respond well to that. So it can be from, smaller fabricators to larger manufacturers. There is a sort of a spectrum in there. And we have solutions for, again, somebody who may just think, I really struggle with ancillary items, on bespoke colour options. Do I need to be buying an entire pack of stub sill for one house when it's going to be, use only maybe 10% of the volume that's in a pack, but you've had to pay and wait for the lead time for the bespoke foiling and things like that. So there is really... there is a package that will suit everybody, but we will consult on that. And we'll be dead honest as well. If we don't feel that you can take the benefit, we're not going to push anyone or encourage people down an avenue that's not got a clear route to that repayment of the investment.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm very fair. So that's equipment. You mentioned training then. So you offer training to anyone that wants it?
Yeah. So essentially there's a sort of two-pronged approach to this that... again, speaking to people, some fabricators out there who use colour as as a big part of their business, is training comes up as one of those. I don't know where I'm going to recruit a sprayer from. I don't know where that skill set's going to come from, and that's just for the operators. The other side to it is that painting is not a skill set we have in house, so it's going to be new to my managers, my supervisors. So we all need to have a sort of top to bottom understanding of this process, because it's not something we want to go at half cocked. So from our training centre here in Manchester, we've invested heavily in over the last few years. We have a full commercial spray operation available as a demo site. We also have the use of facilities at Schubert to have, again, be able to show their full spray booth drying equipment as well. So with our training centre, we've been working on a GQA accredited course. So we can come in, it is an accredited course that we hold here at the Manchester Colour Spray Training Centre. It's a day course where we cover off a lot of the theory of paint spraying for the applicator, for the operator. That then, with a practical session in the afternoon, a bit of hands-on experience with using a gun, how to affect how to execute the training that you've done in the morning in a practical sense, which then culminates in an invigilated exam at the end of the day. So we have a full qualification, a full accreditation to go with that course. Like I said, that's for the operator. We then have a wealth of materials and training and experience in the sort of the managerial side of things. So, what sort of legislative testing do we need to be doing? What sort of periodic testing and things like that? What are the parts that I need to implement aside from ensuring that I have a sprayer who is able to properly execute the job? So we're looking at it from both ways. It's not just about finding the operator to be able to do the job. It's about how you build a sense of responsibility and knowledge within the business as well, so that, we know that teams can be quite transient at times. There's always a lot of change in teams. It's about making sure that you can keep that core knowledge within the managerial team, within the supervisorial team, to make sure that we have a team able to properly execute the job, so there's no variation in quality, in confidence, or in the volume of material that you can get through that spray booth.
So what is the paint that you manufacture?
So Colour Spray have always been a coatings manufacturer for specifically the window, door and glass industry. We started with, people remember our infill resins, our Cadram resins, which then, a long time ago, that then sort of developed into resin paint systems for glass, which then developed into the Colour Spray range of products for PVC, GRP and powder coated aluminium. So we've got a range of products depending on application. We're not just a sort of one product show. Our original product that we produced was Colour Spray GRP, and that was specifically for larger composite door manufacturers and fabricators, designed specifically for the application of GRP. It was very easy to spray, really high coverage, really easy to use. It was great for textured composite doors. What we found, though, is that because of some of the characteristics of providing a paint that is easy to spray onto composite doors, it didn't translate very well into flat PVC, just a difference in finish and sort of yield and things like that. So we then developed, as more and more people wanted to paint flat profile Colour Spray PVC, that was laid down a lot flatter, a lot smoother, very quick drying, which was great for doing window profiles, but maybe not necessarily the best product on the market for composite doors specifically. So that was Colour Spray PVC. Now we have a product that is a sort of middle of the road between the two, a sort of best of both worlds that you have with Colour Spray Fenico S. So it's really, really high coverage, really quick drying times, and really easy to apply as well. So it's sort of the best of both worlds, between Colour Spray GRP being our first one and Colour Spray PVC being that second development. Regardless of the products that we do, and we also have a water-based solution as well for where there may be a need for that. Regardless of the products that we manufacture for different purposes, different applications, they all have the same performance essentially over. They're all held to the same account in terms of the performance over time and things like that.
Right. So with all of that, you sort of, I suppose, most people know the cost of a length of profile and things. How do you sort of plan and forecast around, a litre of paint? What do you get out of it?
So I can get really into it in terms of the technicalities on paint, but essentially you have a couple of parameters that you need to be concerned on with paint. And without going into too much detail, you have a percentage solids, you have a thickness requirement that you need when that paint's dried, and various paints have various viscosities, but what is very clear is we have a really in-depth theoretical calculator. This is how much that product requires in theory, and we can give that as a milliliter amount, as a pound amount, pound and pence amount, which is obviously great, because then you can start to adjust for 1 meter of profile is going to take me this many milliliters of paint with this specific product, but I change that product for some other characteristic that I like, you can still also cost it against that. So what we've done, we've got quite a granular costing system that again gives you the theoretical, but with the caveat that theoretical is purely that. There is a real world application to it as well. There is wastage, there is overspray, there is these variables that are difficult to control. We train the guys to sort of reduce those variables, but ultimately we then can give a more of a real world, and it is a demonstrable real world figure as well, which is great. And I think a lot of our customers appreciate that, because asking how much is the litre of paint, that'll sort of, how long's a piece of string? I could sell you a litre of paint that is £1 for a litre, but it only covers a square inch. Well, how does that compare to my £25 litre that covers 8 square meters, for example? It's about having an understanding of what are the qualities of this paint, what is the performance of this paint, and how much is that going to cost me per square meter of panel, per length of linear profile, whatever it may be. So not just the equipment investment. Obviously, people want to see that the process that they're adopting in-house has been fully costed for, and you are making that return on investment as well.
So for the people out there that, there's horror stories out there, but what about the longevity of your products?
Yeah, at the end of the day, there is I suppose, a natural fear that paint may not last as long as a foil, that, it maybe not have the lifespan as intended. And what I would answer to that is that we've made products for a very, very specific reason. That is windows and doors. And, we don't want paint to be fading. We want people to trust paint. At the end of the day, we think it's a fantastic tool for adding value to building products. Before we get into colour matches and things like that, the key, how long is this going to last? And what we have at Colour Spray is the access to our own test centre as well, our own test materials. So we do regular testing on batches of material. We will spray out samples. We'll do accelerated QUV cycles, which is really harsh weather environments in terms of humidity and UV exposure, and we benchmark that as well. If we want to make sure that the products that we make can stand up to the test of time, because we want people to trust paint. So aside from the testing that we can do, and we can share the data with you, because obviously we're proud of the data, we're proud of the products we produce, we do then have a very comprehensive warranty document that outlines the expected performance over time, the guidance on how you give aftercare information to your customers as well, because at the end of the day, this is a painted product. There is some care that needs to go into it as well. But I think it just settles a lot of worries when you can see we have tested these products to, I'd like to say, to destruction. We can't test them to destruction. We do these very, very intense test cycles, and we're there where we need to be, which is a great sign. But that's all things we can demonstrate. We back up with a very, very comprehensive warranty. We have our test materials that we can demonstrate. And again, we wouldn't be producing paint if we didn't have the trust in the performance and the longevity of it.
So you mentioned you've got a training centre. Is it open? Can anyone just sort of wander in?
Yeah, so we've had this open for a while now. We've obviously gone through the stages with the GQA in terms of getting this accredited course set up. But we are welcoming people in. Like I said, we do have a full commercial setup that is a spray booth, all of this required equipment, PPE, spray guns. We have our drying oven in there. So we have the capability straight away to be able to bring people in whenever and do live trials, live demonstrations. At the end of the day, we wouldn't expect any of our customers to buy equipment that we'd not already invested in ourselves. These are, incredible pieces of equipment that are built with efficiency and performance in mind. And yeah, whether you're an existing customer who wants to just maybe give a bit of refresh of training to your team, if you've got new train or you want a new team or you want a cross-train team, to people who don't use us, who are spraying. At the end of the day, a rising tide raises all ships, and we want to encourage better processes in the painting and fenestration materials, because ultimately a better reputation of paint in the market is better for us as well. And again, it's a great piece of equipment, and if you have concerns with drying times, with wastage of material, with sort of the application and things like that and quality, it's something that we can address in the short term. But on the Thursday, the 19th of September, we will be having a full open house day. I'll be there in the training centre, in the Colour Spray Training Centre, demonstrating the spray booths, the equipment we can supply, the PPE to make sure that operators are working safely, the drying ovens to reduce bottleneck in the factory as well. And yeah, we just encourage anyone, anytime, come down, see us, give us a call. It's a great facility. Free tea and coffee. We've got a Greg's over the road. It's a great place. And yeah, really excited to welcome people to come and see it.
Thank you, Paddy.